So come with a hungry tummy. Now we want to welcome David Pope. DAP CPA Pope and Jackson is our presenting sponsor today. And David has a few things to say. Welcome, David.
First off, I'd like to dedicate what all of my comments here to my teammates that are here with us. As we continue to push toward the final deadline, with the final individual deadline, which is next Tuesday, all of them have taken a moment to come by and have lunch and to celebrate Business to Business Month. And as we continue to push toward excellence in a world where we are in a constant tug of war between what our clients want us to do and what 5 to 10 different regulating bodies tell us we have to do, I think it's important to recognize that they strike that balance every single day. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That quote is often attributed to Nelson Mandela, but it was written by Marianne Williamson, who is a former presidential candidate and a self-help author. The quote always intrigued me, not just because it speaks to me, an accountant at a small firm in Wyoming, but it speaks to communities, whole cities, states, and nations. It tells us that there are no reasons, no excuses that we can fall back on. We have everything we need, including courage. We just have to reach out and grasp it. The quote is a paradox in that, why should we fear our own power? If we are powerful, why is that something to fear? Why should we want to remain as we are when so much is gained by exploring our full potential? It is because with power comes responsibility. I would suggest it is not the power we are afraid of, it is the responsibility and the accountability. It takes courage to accept that responsibility and accountability. It takes courage to make yourself count. Yeah, there's a little pun in there with accountants, but my team has shown that courage time and time again. On the level of a CPA firm, once you learn how journal entries work, you learn how they affect financial statements. Then you learn how a financial statement is input into a tax return. After working with that for a while, you learn the relationships between each of the numbers and the people that use those numbers. Not just the owners, though the owners are the most important part of any accounting system, but the IRS, state agencies, banks, suppliers, and customers. What numbers are important for each aspect of your business's life? Then you learn how to use those numbers to help your clients make better decisions and make more money. At every step, an accountant has to believe they can take the next step. It is a shift truly from the tactical to the strategic, and every single CPA firm should be coaching and mentoring their team on how to take those steps. because the shift is necessary if they want to fulfill their own potential and be of maximum value to your clients. This is, I believe, DAP CPA's 8th year in partnering with the Chamber for the Business Month. In that time, we have met all of the challenges that our economy and the world has presented to us. And still, our firm has grown, Cheyenne has grown, and Wyoming has grown. Yet our commitment and the Chamber's commitment to this community have never wavered. I love that we have the ability to take this time and recognize each business that drives this community. We are astounding in the power we wield as a chamber for the size that we are. We are astounding in the power that we wield as a firm for the size that we are. And it is my goal and the Chamber's goal to keep swinging above our weight class in all areas. Thank you to each of you for your support during Business Month and all year long to the Chamber. And thank you for your continuing support to DAP CPA.
Thank you, David, and thank you, DAP CPA, for being our presenting sponsor today. We appreciate it. I also want to recognize some other sponsors in the room today. So if you're part of this company, when I say your name, just give a little wave. Let us know you're here. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming, Green Top Roofing, Little America Hotel and Resort, and these are our gold sponsors. Thank you, guys. Our silver sponsors, Blue Federal Credit Union, CEC Facilities Group, Kryptonite LLC, Jonah Bank of Wyoming, KT Connections, Laramie County Community College, Magic City Enterprises, Pete's Builders, Remax Capital Properties, Spectrum Enterprises, make sure you're raising your hands, Tolan Mechanical Systems, Tucker Fagan and his family, Wyoming Bank and Trust, and Wiles Support. Thank you, guys. And finally, to our bronze sponsors, 307 Dental Studio, A&B Bank, Better Business Bureau serving Northern Colorado and Wyoming, Blue Peak, Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, Express Employment Professionals, there we go, Laramie County Community College Foundation, Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, Ryman Corporation, RLR LLP, Uniwile Federal Credit Union, U.S. Bank, Walmart Store 1315, Wells Fargo Bank, Western Vista Credit Union, Wyoming Bearing and Supply, PT Hose and Bearing. Thank you all. So October is the month that we look to the future and elect new leadership for the Chamber of Commerce. As chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, we have to declare that the 2025 membership meeting of the Greater Cheyenne Chamber of Commerce open. Today, we have one item on the agenda and the election of our new board members. The current board of directors has certified this nominating committee and certified that the nominating process has been appropriately completed. The slate for consideration is as follows. And if you're here, also give us just a little wave so everyone knows who you are. Nominees for the 2025 Board of Directors are David Cook, FNBO, David Pope, DAP CPA, Katie Ames, WRA Law Firm, Nick Dodson, Cheyenne Motorsports, Jeff Siebert, TBC, and Megan Harrington with Black Cat Still Erectors. So as per direction by the bylaws, we will now ask for nominations on the floor. Do we have any nominations from the floor? So third time's a charm, nominations from the floor. All right. So following today's luncheon, the primary listed on each membership for the chamber will be emailed a link for the vote of the candidates. The voting will close on October 24th at 5 p.m. And now I would like to welcome our fearless leader, Dale Steenbergen, into the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's so great to see you at such a wonderful event. I just love this that we do every year to celebrate us, right? Business Month is about us and about what we do in the community to move free enterprise forward. It's what paves your roads. It's what sends your kids to school. It's what creates a great place to live, work, and do business. I sometimes think we forget about that in America, and we need to just take a step back and perhaps pause for just a moment and realize that this country is built on the backs of business. And that is why we have a Chamber of Commerce and what we work forward with. I have the privilege of being a part of a group called the U.S. Chamber Committee of 100. And we have a great leader for the U.S. Chamber, Suzanne Clark. And I want to share with you something Suzanne told us at a meeting not too long ago. And here's what she said. If you have something society needs, you have a moral obligation to provide more of that, right? So what does society need as you look around? Do we need to have a steady hand? Do we need to have faith in the future? Do we need to believe in our communities? Do we need to put work in our hand to the plow to build our communities and our economies? I would say yes to all of those. I would also say that that is the goal of your Chamber of Commerce, is to move that forward. So we will continue to provide what we believe is an imperative for society. We need to provide more. We are greatly appreciative that over the years you have made us the largest business organization in the state of Wyoming, not by a little, actually by a lot. And we are grateful for that. But we have more work to do. So please enjoy today, enjoy this month as we celebrate business, and help us as we move into the next year to continue to build a great community, not only for ourselves, but also for our kids and those who will come after us. A few things I want to share with you tonight. Tanya talked about Business to Business Expo. Yes, you can get your belly full, but this is a way you can see businesses that you can do business with in our community, right? We want to do business with people that invest in us, and this is a good place to meet some of those folks. I want to take a minute today to recognize a group from our Action and Advocacy Committee. They spent over 60 hours interviewing candidates for our endorsements. More important than the endorsements, perhaps, is what we learn and what candidates learn about us. But I want to recognize these guys. Anybody got 60 hours, they'd sit down and talk about politics to guys running for office? I was trying to get you some volunteers, but I see one volunteer. We'll catch them afterwards. But I want to recognize these guys. And if there's a couple of them that aren't here, but if you are here, please come to the stage. We have a token of appreciation for you. So Dr. Miley, there's Dr. Miley. Paul, yeah, give him a Paul Howard. Ken Dugas. And not able to be here today are Dr. Rennie and Pat McGuire. Please give all these guys a round of applause. And thank you to our incoming chair for helping us with the gifts for these. We appreciate it, Lexi. You guys got a pretty cool little thing. So Just a couple more things for you. Additionally, I would like to recognize anybody who has been in our Circle of Champions. I know there are several of you here, so please stand up or wave your hand that we have recognized in the past. Let's give these guys a round of applause. I see Tim here, Sherbruggs are here. That missing? These are truly people that have made a difference in our community. At the end of the day, wouldn't it be great that it could be said of all of us that we did good where we lived? And that's what we try to learn today. And so the conversations have been great. I look forward to what's coming. I'd also like to thank anybody who went to DC with us. Please raise your hand. We took the largest group to DC this year in our history. This trip is very important, right? We work on funding for the military base. We work on what's going on with tax policy. We work on what's going on with environmental policy. We work on roads, things that are important to us. So we deeply appreciate those who went with us. In DC, presence is everything. You know, Senator Enzi used to say, if you're not sitting at the table for dinner, you're being served for dinner. So I just have the question, which are we going to be in the future? I don't want to get served for dinner. A couple of things coming up. Christmas parade is right around the corner. I know my staff is all thrilled about it, that it happened so quick, but it is right around the corner. I know a lot of your businesses volunteer, have floats, etc. So I'll just bring that to your attention. All right, our free lunch drawing. So Steve Johnson from Remax Capital Properties, if you will see our staff, they will get you your free lunch. Now, David, don't tell the IRS about our little gambling and cash here that we do. 221-8020. 221-8020. Thank you, Mr. Kosicki. We appreciate it. I'll make sure my staff doesn't spend it on booze or something. So. I'd now like to recognize the chairman of our Business Council Committee from the Chamber, Jess Ryan, to the stage to introduce our program for today. Please give Jess a nice warm welcome.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you, everyone. Today is a celebration of business in Cheyenne. One of my favorite events of the year, one of all of our favorite events of the year, has been our Circle of Champions event. It's been inspiring to hear from folks who have poured their heart and soul into our community. We're very excited to hear from this year's Circle of Champions honoree. Our interview this year will be conducted by Josh Storell, CEO of the Wyoming Business Council. Josh, we're appreciative that you have volunteered your time to help with this very worthwhile project. Without further ado, I would like to introduce this year's honoree. Tucker Fagan is a true pillar of the Cheyenne community, blending his military background with the passion for local development and advocacy. As a retired Air Force colonel, he served under President Reagan and later commanded F.E. Warren Air Force Base, where he built strong connections between the military and Cheyenne residents. But Tucker's impact goes beyond his military service as the executive director of the Cheyenne Frontier Days Foundation. He's been a driving force in preserving and celebrating this area's rich Western heritage. His work with CFD has brought people together, fostering a sense of unity and pride in the community. On the economic front, Tucker's leadership as CEO of the Wyoming Business Council has been transformative. He restructured the Department of Commerce, boosting local businesses and tourism, and his strategic vision has played a key role in revitalizing the region's economy. Tucker's story is one of dedication, community spirit, and visionary leadership. His efforts have not only strengthened Cheyenne's cultural and economic landscape, but have also inspired many to contribute to their community in meaningful ways. Get ready for an exciting glimpse into Tucker's impactful journey. Please welcome the 2024 Circle of Champions honoree, Tucker Fagan and Josh Durrell, to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Jess. And thanks to everybody for coming out today, the chamber. I've seen other chamber directors and Dale Steenbergen. He is doing an outstanding job. The fact that there's this many people here manifests the vibrancy of this community, which this is what young people want. They want to be part of something that's on the go, and this place is. So thank you. Thank you for coming.
Well, Tucker, thank you for being here. And as I've already seen, I'm not going to be all that necessary today.
Yeah, I want to thank Josh because, hey, trust me, I know what he has to do. And I'm sure he goes, I have something else on my plate, really? I have to be the monkey grinder and let the monkey go?
That's actually not what I was thinking at all. I was thinking the first thing I thought of was how many other people did they call that weren't available today? And I know of at least one. But I jumped at the chance because to be able to be nearby Tucker is a good thing. And I think many of you know Tucker or have a story about Tucker or have been able to be influenced or impacted in a positive way by Tucker. And I hope what you get out of today is just a deeper glimpse into Tucker's sense of duty and responsibility, Tucker's sense of community and humanity. And likely, very likely, you will get a sense of his sense of humor. So Tucker, I kind of want to start back at the beginning because you've had more careers in your time, and this isn't the end of those careers. You still continue to chug along, but you've had more careers than I think most people could have, and you've made a bigger impact than most people could dream of. So, like, tell us what it was like to be a kid. How did this start?
I'm still Mrs. Fagan's little boy. Really, we all are. I have to introduce the table here, my son, Sean, my wife, Carol, my granddaughter, Ireland, granddaughter, Audrey, my daughter, Erin, my son, Ty, and my other brother, Bob Jensen. Yeah, he's here. Okay, my dad was a firefighter. I was born in Bronxville, New York. We didn't have much, 6 kids. We never went on vacation, never had a new car, never had a shower. When I take a shower in the morning now, it's so beautiful. Really. Or I essentially slept in the attic. It was beyond cold. I hate cold, right? One of my brothers said, we were born in heaven and we didn't know it because we had a good mom and dad. Took care of us. All 6 of us have college degrees. They gave us everything. So I learned the firefighter ethic is you help no matter what. You always help. No matter what time it is, you go there and help those people. So anyway, my first real job was in an A&P warehouse, large warehouse, supplied all the food and produce and meat for all of northern New Jersey, Western Connecticut, up to Albany, all 5 boroughs. Big, big warehouse. My first day I go in there, I weigh about 110 pounds. All right, I'm a little kid. These 2 guys, about 6'3", 6'5", 250 pounds, come over and say, hey, Fagan, you're joining the union, ain't you? Seemed like yes. So I did join. Another guy comes over to me. His name is Old Jack Griffin from County Clare. Jack came when he was 16, and he'd done that job. He was in his 60s. He said, don't ever cut a line. Somebody asked me to cut the line for the food. I cannot do it. Don't ever cut a line. Don't ever make somebody look bad in front of the boss. Simple rules. Stay away from Popeye Woods. Popeye Woods preyed on young boys. He was a chicken hawk, so they called on the streets. I'm a Catholic school kid. I don't know anything about stuff like that. Jack said, don't talk to him. Don't go near him. I'll make sure he doesn't touch you. So Jack was good to me. A couple months later, I'm working with Jack. He says, you know, we came to America for you. And I'm like, what do you mean, Jack? He said, look at everybody here. For generation after generation, they work with their backs. We came so our kids and grandkids would go to college. You're going to make it. I still feel it. Another time I'm with Jack. The foreman comes over and he knows Jack has protected me. He says, Jack, you made Claire proud. Jack started crying. I learned leadership and management right there. It's humanity. That's what we all come to work for, to be recognized as a human being and as a boss, as a, again, firefighter. You take care of everybody around you. You look out for them. You need help at 2 in the morning, I'll be there. I'll help you. Old Jack protected me. You can look up Popeye Woods. He was a professional prize fighter. He fought Jake LaMotta. He headlined a card in the Boston Garden. LaMotta beat him bad. But anyway, I stayed away from him because Jack helped me. Okay, 4 years, I get my college degree. I move boxes. That's who I am. I'm a laborer. I didn't know what to do. It was 1967. It was the height of Vietnam. So I joined the Air Force. They sent me to F.E. Warren Air Force Base. So I come here. I had never hunted, fished. I don't do stuff like that. I was here, and I wasn't good at meeting people. I was from New York. For all you people here, high school and college, 8 years, I never raised my hand one time. I was so afraid to speak in public, to do this. All right? So you think about that. What I try to do is think I'm at the dinner table and I'm talking with my family. Same thing. And I'll get to something special later. But okay. So I joined the Air Force. I come here. I pretty much stayed in my room. I memorized the missile system. I knew every circuit breaker, every control airline, every hydraulic line, every switch, every light, everything about it, all the procedures. I memorized it. People in the military say, that dude's weird. And I guess I was. Well, after a year, I go back to New York and married my wife, Carol. 1969. North of 104th, you could not see a light. Barely could you see maybe Fort Collins. At Wellington, she started crying. Where are you taking me? And now we live here. You never know where you're going. So anyway, I memorized the system. One day I got a call from this colonel, and he said he's with the Joint Strategic Target Planning Staff. I'd never heard of it. He said there's 4 Air Force, 4 Navy. We target and build the U.S. nuclear war plan. We target all land-based and sea systems, and then we interface with the bomber team. So I went there. My first day, I go in there and I go, okay, there's a guy like me from China and Russia. And they may be smarter than me, but they will not outwork me. And I did the same thing there. I felt it was my job to know every weapon, every option. Why would you put a Poseidon on this kind of target or B-52, FB-111? Every single one. I dedicated myself. My wife was going, you get there early and you stay late. She took care of the kids. A Couple of years later, 5, I get another call from a colonel, the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Say, hey, we want you to come up here and take over. The warplane's built in Omaha. We want you to come to the Pentagon and take over the Joint Chiefs of Staff Nuclear Warfare Section. So I went up there, and my job there was to prepare the black bag, the football for the President of the United States. I taught President Reagan. Stickball playing kid from the streets. Went to a college you never heard of. I'm in the White House teaching the president. Okay. They told me, hey, we don't know what day it is. Be ready. So we had a big snowstorm in DC, over 12 inches. I mean, 2 to 3 inches in DC, Northern Virginia, Maryland, that's catastrophe. I mean, that's, you just don't know how bad it is. So we had a foot. So I go out in the driveway, I shovel out my car, jack it up, put chains on. Go back in the house, taking a shower. Carol's beating on the door. Get out here, it's the White House, get out here. You need to talk to him. I said, just get the number and I'll dry off, so I'll talk to him. She goes, no, you get out here and you talk to him. Back then the phone was next to the bed. It was a princess phone. It wasn't a pretty sight. So I go out there and he said to me, okay, you're on at 4 o'clock. You got to be here. We have a Secret Service 4-wheel drive. We'll come and get you. We have a Secret Service cat. We'll come and get you. We have a helicopter on alert over at Andrews. We're going to get you. I said, well, I bought this Volkswagen in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and once I put chains on it, that thing's a beast. So I'll try and get there, and if I run into problems, I'll give you a call, and then you can come get me. So anyway, so I drove up to the Pentagon, go in there, not many people. This is what shocked me. On the interstate, there were thousands of cars, just people shut them off, locked them, and left. They were all over the place. I was like doing this, going up the interstate. So I get to the Pentagon, I get my stuff, go over the 14th Street Bridge, go, into the east side door, downstairs in the PIOC, Presidential Emergency Operations Center. There's a command center downstairs. So I go down there, and I'm on this side of the table. On that side of the table is Secretary of Defense Weinberger, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Admiral Crowell, Deputy for National Security, General Colin Powell. I'm over here, saying to myself, don't let your brain or your mouth go in hyperspeed. Calm down, just calm down. Door opens. President comes in. Damn, there's rooms in here I never even heard of. We all laughed. I go, he's like me. He was awesome. Gentlemen, he and Weinberger had worked so much, knew each other so well, one would start the sentence, the other would finish. I was so impressed with that, of how they loved each other and worked with each other. That's what we all want, to be a part of that. A guy named Ollie North got fired. So I got yanked out of that job, and then I took over half of what Ollie did, and I can't talk about that.
You do not recall?
But let me go back to in the PIOC, teaching the president. I lived with my grandmother who came from Ireland at 15 with nothing. And here I'm in the White House because of her and my grandfather. And I'm sure you have that too in your families. How did I get there? Because they took a chance and they took care of their families. That's why I was there. That's America. And a lot of people, I worked in the Pentagon, went to Harvard, Yale. Like I said, I went to college. You never heard of. It doesn't matter. It's what you bring to the table. And your dedication to excellence. That is the whole deal here. So anyway, eventually I come back, I'm wing commander out here. And that's cool because when you come back, you remember back that first time going through the gate, going, what are these people like? What are the bosses here? Do they yell at people? Do they demean you? They swear at you? What are they like here? I remember that first time. And then I'm coming back. Now it's 4 kids, 2 dogs, and a wife. Command is so special. It is really special. And I miss it. I miss the Air Force. So anyway, there I went back to the Pentagon, came back, and I was vice commander at 20th for 3 different generals. Retired on a Friday night. Governor Geringer hired me Monday morning to take over the Department of Commerce. And he gave me the task of saying, okay, you need to restructure what's there. So I had to develop a plan, and I developed State Parks Cultural Resources, and I had to go out to the many of the members of the legislature. Doc Miley back there, he was there, and he's way in the back. I see him, and go to meet the legislators and say, hey, here's my plan, here's why, here's what I'm doing. So I got it through the committees and through the House, through the Senate. You know, Geringer signed it, and I became first director of state parks. After a couple of months, he calls me and says, Business Council going to hell. You need to fix it. I don't even know what economic development is. So I went down there and I did that for the next 8.5 years. And had Bob Jensen and people like that there. It's kind of a tough job. Josh, Bob, Sean, we joke about, I can't tell you how many people would stop me in a hall or somewhere like forums like this and go, I've been thinking about this. It's diversifying the economy. I go, hey, I thought of that the first week. So anyway, but that's people trying to help, trying to say, what can we do in our state to make it a better place to live? So, I mean, we're just really fortunate to have that. So I did that. I worked 4.5 years for Geringer, 4.5 years for Governor Friedenthal, and it was good. And then I retired a second time. And then Cynthia Lummis gave me a call, said, hey, I'm going to run for the U.S. House. Would you help me with the campaign? So I did. And she won. And she said, I want you to be my chief of staff. And I said, you know, Cynthia, I got all my family here, my kids, my grandkids. I'm really sick of moving. She said, run it from here. You know, with computers, phone, couple of trips up in there, up to DC and back. I ran it from here. So I had the best of both worlds. I was her chief of staff for 8 years. She's awesome. You know, we go around the state. I love driving with her. I mean, we talk, you know, politics, religion, family, you name it. I tell us one story. We're coming down from Manville to Hartville. You know where that is, guys? Hey, this is a kid from the Bronx. I know where it is. Okay. We're coming down south on that road. She says, look at over there. What's that? I go, hey, grass? She goes, no, that's the best forage in the whole United States right there. It's on Hageman's ranch up there. But I mean, stuff like that, we're going around the state, we'd point out things like that, and I learned so much. Here's a hint for you about what I learned. Business Council was having a real problem. But I went on a crusade to go out and try to meet all 90 members of the legislature in their hometown and say, this is my game plan. Your job, vote for it, vote against it. My job is to present stuff and say, this is what I think we need to do next to help the city and the county and the state economy and how we can grow it. Vote for, vote against. That's your job. I get it. No harm, no foul. That was cool. Going out to all those communities, meeting them, meeting the mayors, that thing. That's a real key. Why? Wyoming works on people you know. This is what Dale teaches. This is what Dave kind of talked about. It's all here. You just have to be part of it, know it, and understand the other people. It is so key of having that almost Rolodex in your brain to be able to say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. Who else has done it? Can you help me out? Can you give me the right person? Like Leadership Wyoming, Leadership Cheyenne. Those are awesome things. We did that. Henry Kissinger did that at Harvard. He used to continually every year in the summer invite sons and daughters of sheikhs, presidents, premiers. We use those contacts 30 years later, saying, hey, you became friendly with that person from Abu Dhabi. We're trying to do something there. Can you set up a meeting where we make it happen? That's what Leadership Cheyenne and Wyoming is, that exact same thing. So get involved with that. Those are cool things. You get to see things you'd never be aware of in our state. Okay. Then I retired again. So then I've done a bunch of stuff with the Cheyenne Frontier Days, good people. I'm proud of this. I was chairman of the board, all right? My brothers and sisters call me Rodeo Boy. You laughed. That's good. Okay. How did I get all those jobs? I asked to join the Air Force. I never asked for another job in the Air Force or out of the Air Force, ever. They all came to me. How? Whatever job I had, I tried to do the best, absolute best I could. And I never looked for that next one. I never asked, can you help me get there or do that? No, this is my job. I'm doing this job the best I can. Have a sense of humor. It's so key. Like in the Pentagon, desk next to me opens up. Mary, Jimmy, and Sally. Mental capacity, everybody could do the job. Jimmy's a whiner. Jimmy's never getting a job. You don't want to be around whiners. You want to be positive people. Again, I'll help you at 2 in the morning, right? I don't care what it is. A couple of times in the Pentagon, okay, I'm a colonel. I've done a lot of stuff. What, you're rushing for this job? Give me the sheets. I'll repro them. I'll do it. I don't care what the job is. I'm there to help you. That's how you create those relationships. Okay, in New York, you always go, I shouldn't get into that. It's almost like quid pro quo. I owe you. You help me, I owe you. And kind of, that's a good feeling to me because that's so important that we have that. So anyway, absolutely know everything about your existing job. Never give up on that. And then have that sense of humor. That, leadership management is just the recognition of humanity. We all we want to be treated well. I know when I was young, I thought if I could make 10 grand more a year in the military, God dog, a couple of years we got no raises. A couple of years we got 1%. I figured if just 10 grand more, I could take care of all my problems. You never get there. All right. It's not the money. It's not. It's looking around this room, all these people, and doing a good job and going home and taking care of your family. That's life. That's America. And we have to protect that. What else?
I don't know how much longer Dale wants this to go on. But I also don't want to goof it up. I mean, Tucker, you just there, mostly because of my skill as an interviewer. You were able to take us on a really big journey. I want to hone in on a couple things that you said though. You used the word humanity a lot. You also said you were like the weird guy reading launch codes and stuff. So talk to me about that transition. How do you square those two things?
Well, as a launch officer or any job in the military, this is my job. I am going to learn it. And I know there's people who said to you, well, that probably had a lot on your mind. And I hope you don't be offended by this, but after a while, pulling alerts, and my home capsule is out by Sterling. So we would go down South Greeley Highway to Pierce, turn left, 72 miles in Colorado 14. Now, for a kid from New York, we never drove more than 8 miles. I mean, going to that site was like forever. But after a while, at that time in the late 60s, early 70s, I don't think anything ever went wrong with the weapon system. Nothing. So it to me, it was like another day at the plant. It's my job. It's what I do. I'm here. I know the job and I'm going to do it well. You know, fortunately, I was around good people, leaders there in the Air Force, and they helped me. They helped me so I could stand in front of people and speak.
So tell me about that. So as someone who has led a lot of people, and people have, whether you knew it or not, likely followed you, what was your stance on leadership? What did you see your main goal as a leader was?
Okay. Do you buy books on management and leadership? Throw them out. That's crap. That's all crap. You know, like they say you do this for 2 minutes, then 10 minutes. That's crap. It's you go and I remember the first time I was at an organization where the colonel, actually, I thought he was human. Before, I mean, when I was on this base, like we would get the procedures of how you run the weapon system, they changed. So you would have to go get, it was very strict of what pages you had and didn't. I mean, they were very strict. I was very strict about it too. Well, I used to wait till 9 o'clock at night to go get it because I didn't want to see any colonel. I was afraid of them. Or my wife and I took a picture of the big house on base, quarters 92. There's 2 roads. There's a road right next to 92, and then about 100 yards away, there's another road. Here, I was the senior captain on that base. I was afraid to go on the inner road. We took the picture from the outer road. When I was living in that big house, I had that picture on my refrigerator. And I told my group commanders, see that picture? I was afraid to go near this house. There's a lot of young people on this base just like me. You go out and you meet them. You meet them in where they work. You meet them as human beings who want to do well, because 99% of them want to do well. And your job is create that environment where they want to come to work and they want to help. And when they go home that night, they'll say, I think I did a good job. That's what we're all after. It's not the money. On Maslow's hierarchy, yeah, certain amount of money to there. Beyond that, it's just, did I help? Am I around good people? Am I in a good position, a good situation? That's really the humanity of it. Leaders, managers, you create the environment where people want to come. And it's not hard. Yell and swear and demeaning people? Never, never. That never works. Throw those books out. That's crap. In the Air Force, they send you to these schools to become a good leader. To me, it was like, oh no. So really, it's very simple. Create the environment where people want to come to work. And we have a good time together. We enjoy it. There's gonna be bad times, but we're sticking together. That's it.
So Tucker, tell me a little bit about how that conversation went when you said to Lummus, I'm not going to do this because of my family. So tell me a little bit about how your family has shaped your view of the world and your approach to leadership.
So this is a bad one.
Yeah.
Because
right.
because I was a killer worker, right? So I did stuff with my family, but really, I mean, I was dedicated to every job. I mean, morning, noon, night. At night, I'd be thinking about, you know, what's next, or okay, this option we can provide to the president. What good is it? What's the value? How many weapons? Things like that. I mean, that was on my brain constantly. So really, Carol was the one who took care of the 4 kids. The partnership. How do you get that? Maybe I need to read a book on that one. I don't know. That one, I don't know. But we both came from families with, working class people. And this is how you did it. Their parents showed, or our parents showed us how they did it. And we just kind of followed that. I got nothing else.
Those books are on the way. Amazon is gonna be shipping those. So tell me a little bit about how you think we can take the next 20 years or so, and how do we kind of continue to expand and grow as a state, or as the businesses in the state?
This guy hasn't got to the diversity.
No, I was going to ask you later, if Governor Gordon does call you and says, "What the hell's wrong with the Business Council?" Just give me another shot. Tell him, give me another shot.
Hey, this is a hard job. I mean,
No. We're not talking about my job. We're talking about you, buddy.
hey, when I did it, it was a hard job. It was hard because it was never ending. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how much you do, it's like running a political campaign. All those of you who have been involved in that, it never ends. You go to bed at night and go, God, there's 3 other things I should have done. Okay, I'm gonna get up real early and start out. First phone call comes in, and I gotta change. Okay, I gotta do this now. Okay. This is our future. It's you. And I know when I was young too, I'm going, I'm just a slug. I don't know who the hell, I got my New York accent in there for a second. Can I really help? Can I make a difference, make it better? You can. Dave was good about that too. Dale, like I said, you're so fortunate to be a part of something like this. When we lived in Northern Virginia, my next door neighbor, they had 3 sons. I had 3 sons. If they said hi to us 5 times in 7 years, I go, what do those guys do? They go to work, come home, and they hate themselves. What a terrible, terrible life. And we have fun, and we enjoy each other. That's really what it is. Again, it comes all back. If a good manager leader is nothing more than somebody, okay. If you have bad people, you got to get rid of them. All right, I did. You can ask Bob Jensen. No, Bob just saw it. Yeah, not do it. But my last cabinet meeting, Riedenthal asked me to explain how I did things like that. And I said, a good leader manager has the utmost responsibility to protect the good people. Don't let the bads be in there and drag them down. That is so important. And I know a lot of people, even other directors, that after that meeting we had, they said, there's people I should fire today. I don't want the anxiety. I said, you got to protect the goods. You got to get the bads out. All right? That's part of leadership and management. If you have anxiety about it, that's good too. Because it shows you're not just coming in there and said, hey, well, you got that shirt on today. Get the hell out of here. Fire that guy. No. The coolest thing is, like 2-3 months later, staff comes to you and say, thank God you took it on. It was such a wreck here. You got to get rid of the bads. And that takes planning. I was never sued. 18 people in 9 years. I was not sued one time. I had them. And I protected the goods. Okay? That's a real lesson for you. Because they teach you that in those dumbass books? No. No.
So we've learned that you definitely have a sense of responsibility and duty. You have a sense of community and humanity. We're still a little unclear on the sense of humor part, I think. Tucker, unless there's somewhere else where you want to go, I think this has been super enlightening for the group. I think it's been super entertaining. And I know as someone who thinks about how to fill your shoes, almost every day.
Tough job. Tough
It's-
job.
It
It is.
on so many levels because of that.
Hey, you got 90 legislators, you don't know where they're going. And it really, our country and the state is kind of getting rocked by some crazy ideas. And I'm here to tell you, one of their first, they're gonna go after the business council. I'm positive of it. All of them, no. And hopefully there's enough good ones there to go, hey, you always need that, like it's the Department of Commerce for the state of Wyoming. Of the 50 states, who doesn't have a Department of Commerce? You need this stuff to grease that wheel, to get the right stuff going, to get the right connections. Look at this community. When Carol and I got here, Del Range was a dirt road. Look at all the building going out to the east, to the north, and all the meta centers, et al. NCAR. This happened in my lifetime. It's going to happen in yours too. But you pull together as a business community. That's the essence of what this is. And this guy needs protection, okay? From crazy legislators who are going to say, really? I'm not fooling around there. I'm serious about that.
They could always go back to Tucker Fagan. That actually wasn't a joke. That was,
My brain doesn't. That's why I don't work for Cynthia now. I told her I can't do six days, 12 hours anymore. I'm done. I'm cooked. You get that way. Einstein said, don't memorize anything you can look up. AKA your phone number. You can look it up. Don't memorize it. Okay, I memorized every weapon combination, every option in the war plan. I screwed up my brain. I did. We're coming over here. I'm getting my ID card to go on base, and Carol says, we're not going on base, we're going to Little America. It's called.
exit stage left.
Josh and Tucker, thank you guys so much. To the Fagan family, thank you guys so much for coming and joining us today. We look forward to seeing everybody tonight in the Grand Ballroom from 4 to 6 for the Business to Business Expo. 4 to 7, sorry. All right, have a great day.